We're in Garden Grove. I'm here with Nico Black, and she's an Apache woman, and she just got evicted, illegally evicted by the Orange County Sheriffs. And which company did you say? Was it
Wells Fargo?
Wells Fargo. So you were sleeping, and
on October 10th.
Okay, can you here in the city of Garden Grove? Can you let me know what happened when they forcefully invaded your home?
On October 10th, 2012, on Wednesday, early in the morning before anything was even open, the Orange County Sheriff violated a federal court order denying the bank, Wells Fargo, or any of their affiliates any rights to remove, evict me from my home, harass me. The federal judge denied a motion that they brought that was 1.5 inches thick because they had no right to my home, to my property. They have absolutely no right. They committed fraud. I have terminal cancer. And they, in an attempt to steal from me while I'm sick and tell me that what am I going to do about it, because they will make sure it takes longer than I will stay alive. They then violated a federal court order that I went and got myself to protect myself. Kicked in my door. I was sick in my bed. I had to crawl down the hall to my wheelchair that was sitting by the front door. Barely got into my wheelchair. I had the federal order taped to the front door and also on file with all law enforcement agencies. They then kicked down my fences and my property, beating on my windows, kicking in my door while I'm standing there, drilling my lock, and I have 911. I called my local police department. So the Orange County Sheriff in uniform, 4, 5, 6 officers, and people that are not in uniform, broke into my home illegally, violating a federal court order, pulled a gun in my face, and this is well after the property. They had already gone in and under law enforcement rule where they're securing the property to make sure that there's no one else. I am sitting in my wheelchair, in my pajamas, sick with cancer, both hands visible, my federal court order in my lap, as well as my federal court order taped to the door. They put a gun to my face, safety off, finger on the trigger. And they hurt me so bad, they put me in the hospital. Carried me, dragged me from my home in my wheelchair, refused to allow me to get any medical equipment that I need. All my medical care is at home. Locked my dogs who have illnesses and need medication every day. Refused to allow my neighbors to take the animals, lock them into the house. Drug me from my home. And an ambulance had to come and pick me up. I stopped breathing. Died in the driveway. Made it to the hospital, and they hurt me so bad. I've been in a cancer trauma center since, and refused even legal access to my property. Have already stolen possessions from the property. They changed all the locks. They're the only ones with the key. Refuse entry, stealing, and I cannot get one law enforcement agency to uphold the law. And when I called the Garden Grove Police Department, that I was alone, that I had cancer, that I was in a wheelchair, and that the Orange County Sheriff was violating a federal court order, put a gun to my face, threatening me, threatening my life, pulling me from my home, illegally, violating my constitutional rights, and also the Americans with Disabilities Act, and a federal standing court order. The police did absolutely nothing. And from this time, I've refused to even take a report. They will not take the paperwork. They will not do anything. I contacted the United States Marshal. I contacted the FBI. They told me that my local police department can, with that federal court order, immediately let me into my home, which is where all of my care is set up, my medical equipment, my nursing, my physical therapy, my everything. And because I didn't know if I'm going to be alive long enough, because they've kept me from care and ripped me from my home and injured me so badly, I made a dying declaration. And so I'm telling you this story now, so that if I do not make it through this situation alive, that they will be held accountable, because I am the last person standing on my street of half my neighborhood over that they stole from, that fought for their rights to not be defrauded, because this is fraud. I do not owe anyone any money. They do not have any rights to my property. And the federal judge granted a court order because of this. And I would like my local law enforcement agency, the Garden Grove Police Department, and I've called the mayor, and no one will uphold the law. And so we've gathered to protest at our local law enforcement agency, at Garden Grove Police Department, to get them to uphold the law, which the FBI and the United States Marshal told me that they should and could be doing. And the FBI has a case that they are pending, putting together for criminal action against all the parties that did this. And now I am just trying to get home, to my home that I worked my life for. That is where my care to save my life is. To not have my rights violated, and to stand up for every other person that couldn't speak up for themselves. And so I hope the people will call the Orange County Sheriff's Department. I hope they will call Garden Grove Police Department. I hope they will call anyone in government to ask them why they will protect law enforcement when they commit crimes and yet not protect the people and uphold the law.
And if somebody, like from the media, wants to get a hold of you, what's your email?
My email is Nico, Nikom, as in Marie, Black, Nico M. Black at hotmail.com.
Thank you very much for fighting for the working people and for indigenous people, and we support you. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.